Today we're going to be talking about wax play. So wax play, at least I feel like fairly recently, has gotten more and more popular. We've definitely been getting a lot more questions about how to do it, what to use, and of course how to be safe about it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So some first things to note about wax play is that you can't just use any kind of candle. There's many different kinds of candles out there, but your regular candles that you would get at, say, your local grocery store or other places are not going to be safe for bodily use. The reason being is that wax burns at different temperatures, and adding things like scents and coloring, that can actually make the wax burn even hotter. So even if you do get a candle at, say, like Walmart, and you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out what, if you can use it for your body, even if it says that it's paraffin wax, keep in mind that some of the additives that they have in there could burn you or your partner. And honestly, you can really burn yourself pretty badly if you're not careful. That's why wax play does take a little bit more time, and you have to do a lot more research in order to figure out what's safe. But that's also where we here at Fairvilla come in, and we're gonna help you figure out what kind of candles are safe to use. Before we even get started with candles, wherever you're going to be dripping, primarily you wanna stick to major areas of the body. You wanna avoid things like the face, the neck area, armpits, places that are going to be more sensitive or prone to burning because the tissue is thinner, or where you can really harm someone. The back, buttocks, legs, upper arm tissue, those are all good places that you can practice wax play. Another fun tip is if you're not necessarily wanting to get a waxing when you're playing, you might want to put down some coconut oil or some mineral oil on the skin to help keep the wax from pulling the little hairs that we have. Even though the area may not seem hairy, trust me, your body is covered in tiny little hairs, and if you don't want to feel all of those pulled, put something down. I do not recommend using things like massage oil though, because again, those scents can also cause additional burning. So let's talk about the different candles that are out there. And these are just some of the ones that we carry. There are many different options. There's paraffin. There's ones like this from a company called Blush, which are a mix of soy, beeswax, and coconut oil. And then of course, there's just soy massage oil candles. So going back to the first one, these are paraffin wax candles. Paraffin wax candles are going to be some of the hotter options out there. They're also some of the most iconic. They tend to look like this, in this sort of stick shape. The idea being that you would light the candle, and then as it slowly goes down, it starts to drip onto your partner or yourself. Now, the important thing to keep in mind with paraffin wax is, as I mentioned, it's pretty hot, so you want to be careful with it. You want to have as much space in order to let the wax have time to cool as it drops to the tissue. Remember, with wax, the closer you are, the hotter it's going to be. And that's the case for any of these, but especially for paraffin, you want to give yourself some space. So now that we've talked about paraffin wax candles, let's talk about some of the candles that can be kind of a hybrid mix or other options. So that's where this one from Blush comes into play. I absolutely adore this candle because it looks like a tiny fox. It is so absolutely cute. So with the same idea in mind as the paraffin wax, the closer you get, the hotter it's going to be. But the nice thing about this candle is because it's not paraffin and it's a mix of coconut, soy, and beeswax, it's not going to be as intense as the paraffin wax. Now, beeswax on its own can be pretty intense, so you definitely want to be careful. Just straight beeswax candles can be even hotter than paraffin wax. Soy and coconut based candles tend to be a lot more gentle on the skin, not just because soy and coconut are more natural options as well, but because they burn at a lower temperature. Burning at a lower temperature means it's not going to get as hot to put onto the skin. This is a nice option if you're wanting some of that warmth that paraffin has without having a massage option. And of course, if you have somebody who has more sensitive skin, this can also be a better option. And then finally, we have our soy-based massage oil candles. Now, I did mention in the beginning about how scents and certain things you have to be careful with because they can cause additional heat and burning. So these types of candles are specifically designed with certain scents that are going to be body safe, that will not burn the body. This is one from Kama Sutra. These have literally been around forever and they are absolutely fantastic. Now, while they have lots of different ingredients, the main base for this one is soy, and soy does not burn as hot. Of course, it can still be pretty warm if you're super close to the skin, but you don't have to be as worried about it as you would with, say, paraffin, beeswax, or some of the other more intense options. This also does take a little bit longer to use, and when it's done, it does turn into more of a massage oil consistency, but this can also be nice if you're wanting something a little more intimate. It's also important that you need to take your time when you're using this, and if you are not the one who is receiving, it's a good idea to drip some of it onto yourself so you have a gauge for how hot it's actually going to be before you put it onto your partner. These are just some simple tips and tricks in order to make your wax play experience a lot more fun, and hopefully you all go out there and have a great time with it, okay? Wax play, while it does take a little bit more time to get used to and has a little bit more prep behind it, it's a lot of fun and it's definitely worth exploring. So thank you so much again for joining me here today. Hopefully you had a really good time as much as I had a good time with you all. If you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out our Eventbrite for all of our fun classes and different things we have going on. We enjoy all of you so much, and thank you again for joining us today. Have a fun Fairvilla day. Bye-bye.